I journaled.
Come on closer.
Oh,
Thank you.
I journaled. It's a little more than 2 minutes, but not much.
Quick.
Can I share it?
All right.
Conference. Amazing. To know I'm part of a company that puts Christ at the helm blesses my socks off. The worship service and sermon from Mark and Cindy's pastor was wonderful. What a way to start conference. We heard stories from regular people who, before it works, struggled to put food on the table for their family. They are now at a place where they are able to bless others while living their life. Mel and Blair, they talk about persevering through the tough times. Blair says, you'll hear no. You may want to quit. Don't. You may hear people say that doesn't work. We do hear that. You may even have people who don't want you to succeed. It's a shame, but it's out there. Boom.
Yeah.
Just don't quit. My aha, I think, was when they read a scripture during the worship service. It's Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. Two are better than one, because they have a good, more satisfying reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie down together, they have warmth. But how can one be warm alone? And though a man might prevail against him who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. We are part of an amazing group, an amazing team, from the head down to us, little guys. And we're blessed, thanks to these two people.
I just want to say, I think my aha moment was there was a lot of different stories there, and there's this one girl that was up there on stage, and she started talking about how before it worked, she was on state aid, she was on food stamps, and she was really scared to get in the business. And the reason why is because she knew when she made a certain amount of money that that stuff would be taken away. And she was worried and that, you know, it would be a waste of her time because that's where she'd be. And then Wally asked her, he's like, well, what changed to get you from there to where you are now? And I can't remember what rank she was, but she was doing really well. And she said that, you know, she just made a decision. And that reminded me of a friend back in the day told me you know, about the word decide. You know, there's the word homicide, which is the death to someone else. There's the word suicide, which is death to yourself. And there's the word decide, which is death to all other options.
Ooh, I love that.
And I was just like, wow, you know, we're all just one decision away from really making this happen. You know, and then, of course, the commitment. And commitment is doing what you said you would do long after the feeling you said it and has left you. So with the one decision and just setting that commitment, we have everything. And I don't think you guys realize how blessed you are by your location either, because there's nowhere else in this entire country where you have two ambassadors that are right here. I mean, come on. Any one of us in any given month can bring people to here to Nashville. I'm an hour away. You know, I'll drive up here every week if I have to, introduce them to people in this Success from Home magazine. You literally just have to open a magazine up and say, hey, do you want to meet these people? And bring people to them. That's really all you have to do. Wrap them and bring them. Wrap and bring, wrap and bring. I mean, this is a phenomenal time. It's a phenomenal location. This company is amazing, and it's here for everybody. So I'm just blessed and proud to be part of this organization. And one last thing is, business is cruel and mean. I've been in other companies, you know, where you go to a convention, it's all about make the company money, make the company money, make the company money. That's all you hear. And here we come and they're like, let's save some kids in Bolivia. It's like, what does that have to do with this company? Nothing. And it just goes and it shows you the heart of the company, you know, and what they're really about, and with the worship service and all that kind of stuff. And it's just really about family, freedom, and fun. And this company is truly about those three things, and I'm all about those three things. So I'm a lifer now because of conference, and just excited to meet all of you. Thank you.
This was actually my first conference, and it was amazing. I mean, my buddies back there, I came back to school, and they go, like, so how's that Florida conference thing? I was like, it was the best days of my life so far, no joke. I mean, I was just blown away. And to say one aha moment is going to be impossible for me because there are so many of them. So I'm going to give you one very vague one, and that's conference. I mean, you do not know what you're in until you experience it at conference. You walk in there and just look out, and there's so many people. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. And then you get to meet CEO, director of sales, director of marketing, everyone. Some of the most incredible people. And then all the enthusiasm. I mean, they started getting promotions. I was about ready to do a backflip. And I'm sitting here going, I'm going to be in here in a neck brace if I'm not careful. So, I mean, you can ask Charlie, I had to go take Confianza just to calm myself down. I mean, it was awful. But I was so excited. I came back. I was like, now it's time to just run with it and just go with it and be ready for next year. And I'm going to leave y'all with one thing, though. If y'all have not ever been to one or do not plan on going next year, I want y'all to leave here today and go put it on your dream board. I don't care what the excuse is, you're going to be there if you are dedicated to It Works. Thank you.
Parker, tell them how old you are.
I am 17. I will be 18 in July, and like I said,
You got one more year of school before you take off.
yeah, I hear that. Yeah, it's good.
Well, how about we have today's teenagers, and then we have yesterday's teenagers. Yesterday. There were a couple of things. We had some team members there, and on the first day, one of them tapped me on the shoulder, and she said, "This company oozes with integrity." She said, it spills out all over you. And I've been in network marketing since 1994, and I told Sherry, my best friend and my sponsor, I said, this conference rivaled the best conference I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of them. And probably I could repeat everything everybody has said because I felt the same thing, but the aha moment for me, we were sitting there and we were listening to all these success stories, and these people were so young. I mean, when you're in your golden years, I mean, when somebody's 25 years old and they're up there on that stage and they're telling you they're debt-free and all of this, okay, if you sit there and you think, why in the world would a young person be attracted to me? How can I get a younger person's attention? So I'm thinking this, and I immediately thought, I can't think that. Because if you think it, what happens? That's what happens. So I had to immediately put a stop to it and start thinking, no, I can attract them. I can attract them. I can. We leave to go to lunch. We're walking across the bridge in Tampa to go to the hotel. And there's a sea of green and black. And there's distributors. And there's more young than there are old. And all of a sudden, we hear this young man say, "Sir, sir." And he's talking to Charlie. And we stopped. And he said, "What is this It Works thing?" I was like, oh, my God. I just made myself think that, and look what happened. So the only reason why you will not succeed in this business is what's between here and here. Our company has given it everything to us. It's the most amazing ownership and leadership. And like Chad said, look at what we've got here at our fingertips with Mel and Blair and Tina and Bubba. So for me, being one of the senior members of the group, I just want to encourage everybody. You've got the best there is. You don't need to look any further. This is it. So let Charlie tell you something.
All right, Charlie. Oh, you really want to hear this?
What was your aha moment, Charlie?
Well, before I get to the ha-ha moment, Debbie says she was in the business since 1994, and she'd been to all these conferences and conventions, and of course I went along with her, sometimes not willingly, but I was there. And I always wanted to get up and leave the room and sit out, or I always stood in the back of the room, because every time I looked at the top money earners in the businesses, they all looked like used car salesmen.
Slick.
They were all slick. They had the ties on, and they were all screaming at you that you could make it too, and all they were really concerned with was themselves. I sat through this year's and last year's conference and never, left the room to go get stuff at the store. But besides that, I sat there and listened. And I was amazed that the top money earners in this business were young kids, were divorced or single mothers, people who came from the bottom, not shyster lawyers or used car salesmen, but regular, ordinary people were making top dollar. And that shifted my opinion. And my thing when we were all there, we got to write our, what was it, a wish? What we were claiming, and put it on that board. and mine was that I was going to get involved in this business. We'd been in about 6 multi-level businesses, and I never got involved. So my aha moment was, this is it.
He's doing it.
This one I'm going to do, because,
Well, this was my first conference, but this is my 4th network marketing company. And I would go to those others, and I would see all the people who were on stage. And I won't tell you what my daughter says about them, but they're not very nice. And they're not, they're not going out of their way to help anybody else. And one of my very first party kind of things, we were in Bradenton last year for Green Carpet Days, because I had become a Ruby my very first month, and I was so excited. So my husband and I headed down to Florida so I could see what it was all about. And when we left there, we stopped in another town, I can't even remember, Tampa, to do a party. And there were 4 diamonds in addition to my upline who came to that party and helped that night. Now, they weren't going to make a dime off of me because they're in my sideline. Kathy and Kristen and Vicky, they all came and they acted as if I were in their downline. They spent all this time just helping me do that. And when I was at conference this year, I would see anybody would talk to anybody. It was just amazing to me that they're willing to help regardless of whose family tree you're a part of. And the other thing is, in the last business I was in, it was a very expensive product. And so you had a demographic that you were working toward. And those are the people that you wanted to attract to both buy your product and to be in your business. And I know that there were at least 3 people on stage who said, this time last year, we were on food stamps. I couldn't pay. One woman said I would come home at night and I would look at my doorbell because I knew if the light was on my doorbell, they hadn't cut my electricity off that day. And I'm thinking, I need to talk to everybody because there are people who don't know what they're going to do. And we have creative ways. $99, really? Pre-sell the wraps. I mean, there are ways that we can help people do this. And I just want to encourage you, if you're the only person on your diamond sheet right now, keep filling out your diamond sheet. Because when I hand it to somebody or a ruby sheet, I will tell them, I was the only name on that sheet when I started filling mine out. And God will bring incredible people to you if you just won't give up. The people between you may give up, but those rock stars will be there if you'll just hold on and just pray God to bring people into your business. He's faithful. You do the work, and He'll bring the people.